Lord Mayor, ladies, gentlemen. These are deeply challenging times for our world. Events far beyond our shores echo here at home, with implications for our security, our economy, and our very social fabric. It falls to us to do everything we can to shape these events. And so we've delivered one of the most significant years for British foreign policy in recent times. That's due in no small part to James Cleverly, and I know that he'll bring the same vigour to the equally vital job of Home Secretary. And I'm pleased to have appointed a new Foreign Secretary who will build on everything that we have achieved in the last year.
Former UK Prime Minister David Cameron arrived back in Downing Street on Monday to take up a surprise new role as Foreign Minister and the new title of Baron. Current leader Rishi Sunak shuffled his cabinet and handed a life peerage to Cameron, who stepped away from politics in 2016 after the Brexit vote to pull Britain out of the European Union.
Are you getting sacked for telling the truth, Home Secretary?
The PM's long-planned reset was finally triggered by the firing of Interior Minister Suella Braverman over her criticism of police, an act which threatened Sunak's own authority. The ruling but divided Conservative parties badly lagging the opposition Labour Party ahead of a general election expected next year. And the return of a beaming Cameron suggests Sunak might want to bring in more centrist, experienced hands rather than appease the right of his party, which supported Braverman.
Morning.
Opposition lawmakers described Cameron's return as an act of desperation. It may also awaken divisive debate over Brexit, which Cameron himself opposed before resigning after 6 years at the helm.
But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination.
Since then, the UK has had a few captains in Downing Street. The latest was forced to act against his Interior Minister after she defied him last week by penning an unauthorised newspaper article. Braverman accused police of double standards at protests, suggesting they were tough on right-wing demonstrators but easy on pro-Palestinian marchers. Critics said that inflamed tensions between a pro-Palestinian demonstration and a far-right counter-protest on Saturday, when hundreds of thousands took to the streets of London and nearly 150 people were arrested.
I intend to do this job in the way that I feel best protects the British people and our interests.
James Cleverly, previously Foreign Minister, was appointed to replace Braverman. Her attention might now focus on preparing for a possible future race for leader of the party if next year's election goes against the Conservatives.
Well, I know it's not usual for a Prime Minister to come back in this way, but I believe in public service. The Prime Minister asked me to do this job, and it's a time where we have some daunting challenges as a country. The conflict in the Middle East, the war in Ukraine, and of course, I hope that 6 years as Prime Minister, 11 years leading the Conservative Party gives me some useful experience and contacts and relationships and knowledge that I can help the Prime Minister to make sure we build our alliances, we build partnerships with our friends, we deter our enemies, and we keep our country strong. That's why I'm doing the job, and I'm delighted to accept. I've disagreed with some individual decisions, but politics is a team enterprise. I've decided to join this team because I believe Rishi Sunak is a good Prime Minister doing a difficult job at a hard time. I want to support him. I'm a member of the team, and I accept the Cabinet collective responsibility that comes with it.
I would like to make a short statement. I do not usually discuss urgent questions, but today I received one, and rather than discuss the matter in the Chamber, I thought it would be better for me to set out my thoughts on the particular issue which involves procedure of this House. The House will be aware that the Prime Minister today has appointed the Right Honourable David Cameron as Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs. This is not the first time in recent years that a Cabinet Minister has been appointed in the House of Lords. But given the gravity of the current international situation, it is especially important that this House is able to scrutinise the work of the Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office effectively. I have therefore commissioned advice from the clerks about possible options for enhancing security of the work of the Foreign Secretary when that post is filled by a member of the other House. I also look forward to hearing the Government's proposals on how the Foreign Secretary will be properly accountable to this House. I do not propose to respond to points of order on this subject today until the advice I've referred to has been received, until I've heard the Government's own proposals. But I can assure the House that I am fully aware of the need for the Honourable and Right Honourable Members to be able to hold the Government to account in this area, especially at the current time, and I shall do everything I can to ensure that we're able to do so.
I think he left under a bit of a shadow, didn't he, in 2016, just after the referendum. So it's interesting to see him coming back. Just wonder whether or not he knows much about what's going on inside.
It feels a desperate move for Rishi,
politics at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it adds maybe a bit of gravitas and weight to the government. I personally don't think he did a bad job last time, although what he did with Brexit I wouldn't necessarily agree with personally.
He's been on the rock for a while. I guess that's perhaps a PR stunt in itself. You know, the last thing I remember is Brexit. You know, opening up the referendum and then just leaving it in the hands of someone else. That's how it was left. So.
Well, he can't do any worse than what's currently in position, and maybe he's a mature figurehead that we need at the moment.
Feels like a bit of a chess move to try to bring someone in, like Martin said, a bit of gravitas, because he's clearly making his moves to get ready for, you know, the election next year, and it's probably quite a clever move to bring him in, bring someone with a bit of experience, because the rest of it, well, we all know what Dominic Cummings thinks of the rest of the cabinet that was, so he's a good operator, so yeah, in purely kind of corporate terms, it's a good move.
I think she needed to go for what she was been saying recently. I think she's. I don't know. I don't think she was really the right person in the right job. Really, I think she's a bit too far right. What she's coming out with.